Hey everybody, we're in the last stages of 2 Timothy, and we're in the last declaration of Paul in his deathbed conversation that we learn so very much from, where he's saying to us there's 3 things that you better be able to tick the box of by the time you leave this planet, as he was about to do. The first thing that we said the other day was that he declared that he had fought the good fight. Now, there are a lot of fights out there. There are some that are worth fighting. There are some, obviously, that aren't. But he says, I fought the good fight. And remember, we said if he had said, I fought a good fight, that would have been a selfish thing. He would have been looking at it from his own perspective. But he picked his fights really well, and he fought the good fight in many different areas. The second thing that he says to us today, and you'll find this at the end in chapter 4. He says, let me read it to you. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race, and I have kept the faith. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will give to me on that day. Now, there's so much that we could say about this one. The next aspect is after he said, I have fought the good fight, he says, I've run the race. I notice here that he does not say, I have won the race, because that would make him rather arrogant, and that would make the Christian life one Christian competing with another, that we can beat each other in the race. He just says, I have finished the race. I have completed the course that God has for me. Imagine being able to say that at the end of your life. I've done everything, God, that you have called me to do. May not have done it perfectly, but you understand my humanness. But I have now run my race. I can see the finish line ahead. I can see the crowd. I can see you. I can see the people waiting to welcome me to heaven at the end of this, my race. I just think back to the days when we were young, and some of you are still young enough to do this, but you run a race, and the sense of anticipation when you stand at the start is just, man, I can't wait to get into this thing. I can't wait to run. Some people run to win because they need to win in order to be able to say something. Others just want to have fun and run the race and make sure that they at least finish the race. Well, that's the Christian race. I'm not running against you. You'd beat me any day. But I'm running against me. And I'm competing against myself to just finish the race and finish it well. You know, the applause of the crowd is often important. We often talk about home side advantage. And when your family and your kids are all in the race, and they're great horde of heaven that are watching us in the race, and they're cheering you on, they're welcoming you across the finish line. If you want to have a good perspective of what death looks like, try that one. That brings a beautiful picture to that which will one day happen to all of us. We fear it. We don't want to get there. But I tell you, to look at that end goal and say, man, I want to finish this race. I want to finish it well. And the applause of heaven is awaiting me. The race, as I said, is a glorious race. It's not against anyone else. It's against you. If the truth were to be known, you probably find that the greatest hindrance to finishing the race well is not Satan or the world, it's you. And in your own mind, as you begin to program what it looks like to finish this race, you have to war against the issues of fear. You have to war in your mind against the issue of doubt. And I've got to tell you, people, if we can win over those things, we can finish this race like him with real confidence. Now, we need to look at these things because this is the real world in which we live. But I really hope that we will be able to look at the race of life and see it for what it is. Some people, however, are not running the right race. Some of them are running the rat race. You're on a treadmill and you're just going through life, and it's about paying the bills, it's about feeding the kids, it's about doing all those things that you think, and you're like on this treadmill, and you're just slow motioning your way through life, getting exhausted, and you just exhaust yourself. That's not the race I'm talking about. That's the race the world would want for you to run. But when we run with joy, the race that is set before us, we never know when that day of completion will come. It could be a while. It might be soon. We don't know. but let's at least finish the race well, people. Now, I'm not hooked up on this thing, although some people would say I'm talking quite a bit about the end, and I guess there might be an element of truth in that. But I want to suggest to you that even now, in the spring of your life, in the summer of your life, be looking forward and live this life in the acknowledgement and the knowledge that one day you will finish the race. I hope you all finish well. The joy of watching people at Comrades coming, this Comrades Marathon thing that we run, and the joy, then they don't get in the race because they win it. That's for the select athletes. But to see the joy on the faces of those people when they cross the race, not because they've won, but simply because they've finished the darn thing, and they enter now into the joy of just the achievement of knowing that it's done, and it's done really, really well. That's my prayer for you, and I hope that you will receive that in a very special way as you two run the race. Have a great day, you guys. Bye now.